Well, good afternoon, everybody. Let's go ahead and begin our regular meeting for November 27th of San Bernardino International Airport Authority. And we will go ahead and call to order. And are there any comments on public session? I'm sorry, in the closed session for public comment? Anybody?
Not that I have.
Clerk? All right. We will, at this time, recess into closed session and return back here upon conclusion. Okay, very good. Are there any reportable actions in closed session?
Mr. Mayor, in closed session, closed session item A, B, C, and D were not discussed in closed session. For items E, F, and G, no reportable action was taken in closed session.
Thank you very much. All right, we will now begin our public session, and we will have our call to order by the clerk. Madam Clerk, if you'd call the roll, please.
Yes, please state your name for the record. Members from the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
Thank you. Member from the City of Loma Linda.
Ovi Popescu.
Thank you. Member from the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn.
Thank you. And members from the City of San Bernardino.
John Valdivia.
Thank
And
you.
Councilman
And
Sanchez is,
he's still here?
he's coming through the door here.
Okay. Thank you.
What is entrance?
All right. Very good. Mayor Navarro, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? If you all please stand.
Thank you. Please join me in saluting the flag of the greatest nation in the world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Navarro.
Thank you.
Are there any items to be added or deleted?
No items, Mayor.
Very good. Moving on to item F, if there are any conflict of interest disclosures from members. Seeing none, we'll move on to G, informational items. Executive Director's Report, Mr. Burrows.
So the very first one is going to be hard for you to think about right now. Tomorrow morning, some of us will be doing the turkey trot yet again at our airport. Rain or shine, they're assembling now, and people are picking up bibs as we speak at the FBO. I think it's motivation to run faster, apparently, but again, San Manuel and SBIAA are the ones that put this on, and we give them our roadways and our sweat and hopefully not tears to support the good cause. They are actually getting more and more attendees year after year, and it'll be a fun event. So hopefully I am not a popsicle come about mid-morning tomorrow. The next item on your list here, item B, I just wanted to give an update. We had a couple of things recently. The airport and FBO were featured and prominently represented at the National Business Aviation Conference and Exhibition back in October. Yet again, this is the national conference for business aviation, and very good exposure as well as response from industry representatives as well as current and future customers. In addition, with our international partners, we in the UAE were yet again asked to participate and attend the Dubai Air Show. That actually created the opportunity to do a much anticipated pilot promotion at our JetX partner and their flagship FBO, and that actually was warmly received by their customers. They're doing additional follow-up on that and talking about additional promotions at their FBOs in France and Mexico. Right before that, though, there was a unique opportunity for President Valdivia and Vice President Popescu and I to meet the new UAE Consulate General in Los Angeles. So we certainly had worked extensively with his predecessor. I've got to say, I was very intrigued by this gentleman. He was welcoming us with open arms and very, very interested in assisting not just the airport, but the communities that we represent. So trying to get an occasion to get him out to visit the airport, and I'll certainly keep everybody in touch as soon as that occurs. He's definitely a dynamic individual. At the Dubai Air Show, there was also opportunity to meet the new U.S. ambassador to the UAE. He's a very, very able individual and was very down to earth, quite honestly. Had a lot of time to talk with him in a lot of ways because he was there. The FAA administrator himself was there, so didn't expect to bump into him, but it was great to say hello. And the tail end of that, we were able to actually get some feedback from Abu Dhabi Airports. That's the group we have an MOU with, and they've got some new management staff there, but have definitely offered their interest in continuing the relationship. At the heels of the event, we reconnected with one of the flight planning companies that we work with called UAS Trip Support, and they really, really were eager to enter into a partnership agreement to try to drive more flights into our airport. So we are in the final details of that and anticipate signing that any day now. So that was exciting and great for us to see that we were received the way we were. Commissioner Popescu was on hand for both, and he may have some additional comments.
The conference in Las Vegas was interesting in the sense that we actually met with Mike and I, and Wendy and I had, I think, like 13 meetings in one day. Mike and I were only there for one day, but the one thing that almost happened, we were close. We almost had a large charter that came as a result of that, and ultimately it didn't pan out because of a customs issue, but it opened the door for us to work with this company that manages quite a few international charter with sporting teams, and they were very excited about using us as an alternative to LAX. They've had a lot of issues there, so we're hoping to see some of them soon. Back to the UAE consul, this is a relationship that's been going on now for 5 years. Interestingly enough, that relationship resulted in another announcement that Mark's going to talk about in a little bit. But the UAE is our largest trading partner in the Middle East. They've invested $10 billion in the California alone in everything. In any industry, they've actually put their hands into it. So the one interesting, intriguing thing that happened out of our meeting with the consul was he turned to the mayor and asked, well, first of all, he knew about San Bernardino, which was kind of cool. For a different reason than we thought. It was because a lot of their students go to school there at Cal State San Bernardino, but he says, what can I do to help? And of course, the mayor talked about Harmony, which is an after-school program that they have in San Bernardino. He says, okay, let me know what I can do. I chimed in and I told him about Loma Linda University and how they're involved with lots of things all over the world. I was in India this summer for 2 weeks, and there's a lot of things that Loma Linda is doing in India. And right away, the consul said, yes, I want to partner with Loma Linda to do something someplace else. The reason I bring this up is because, and I brought this before, we always talk about aviation and airports and airplanes and everything else, but this airport allows us to do things for our community and bring attention in ways that nobody ever envisioned. It opens up doors that you wouldn't even think about. And that's what's so unique about the airport. It brings economic activity, not just to the airport, but also to our partners. The UAE has spent about $900 million with a hospital back east. They build soccer fields in Texas and Washington State. If they can do something in San Bernardino that can help those kids, that benefits the city probably even more than opening up a business. If they can help Loma Linda with some project that they're doing overseas, that's more money they may have to pay their employees with all the various issues that we have with healthcare. So that's kind of the exciting part. And we worked really well with the last consul. Exciting. In regards to the Dubai Air Show, just a couple of quick notes. I think the highlights, like Mike mentioned, was meeting Romania, but for whatever reason, he got chosen to UAE. The Senate withheld his confirmation for 1.5 years, so he's only been on the job for 21 days. But he remembered us, and he talked to us, wanted to know why we were there, what our purpose was. Mike talked about all the various things. The opportunity for us to meet the FAA administrator was huge. We talked a little bit about what we're doing at the airport. He's willing to help us with some of the customs issues, so that was a huge opportunity. The other reason that we went was because in February, the UAE had a delegation that came to talk in Los Angeles that attended, and that included Dubai South. Dubai South is the world's largest airport. One of the most important meetings we had there was that they liked our fire training service and they want to partner up with us on that. So we had lengthy discussions with that, and hopefully we're going to do a scope, and an MOU may result. And how that benefits us is tremendously, in the sense that some of our firefighters here, county employees, may be going there to help train their people, and also increase activity to our own firefighting services, because as busy as we are, the opportunity is even larger. And that's a huge role for us, because the revenue that the firefighting services provide here can be used to offset the cost of providing services. So there's a lot of tangential benefits that we can have from all that. So I think those are the highlights of the trip. And the challenge we have with some of the companies we've been dealing with is that in that part of the world, it takes a lot of nudging. There's a lot of changes of players. We had some meetings canceled. They've got new management people, so we're having to re-engage them and refocus on some of the agreements, because it's a similar thing we're trying to do with Abu Dhabi as well. But so anyway, that's the highlights.
So we have a couple others. I don't want to miss these. Ms. Pritchett has important info on our personnel update, as well as results from SBD Fest. So, Kat?
Thank you, Mike. Good afternoon. Before we move into personnel, I did want to report out on an insurance claim that we've been working on. In August, I did tell the commission that we would provide updates on damages we had at the International Arrivals Facility in January of this year. After 10 months, we were able to settle the claim. We were looking at about $425,000 in total damage from the two events, one rain, one water heater. We were able to recover $295,000, but the final net loss to the agency was about $130,000. Part of that was deductible, part of that was pre-existing damages that the insurance company wouldn't recognize. But the claim is closed, and I don't want to jinx myself with the current rain, but as of now, we have no open property insurance claims. So that is where we stand on insurance. On the personnel side, we're happy to announce that after a very extended recruitment process, our offer of employment to Cortez Carter for the position of Director of Business Development has been accepted. Mr. Carter joined us for SBD Fest and had the opportunity to meet with some of our commissioners as well as staff, and we do feel that he's going to be a great addition to our team. He is relocating from Atlanta, and we do anticipate his tenure with the agency will begin likely the first week in February.
February?
February,
Wow.
correct.
That doesn't mean he doesn't start working.
Okay.
Yeah. But before we move on to SBD Fest, I'm happy to answer any questions about the claim and Mr. Carter, if there are any.
Was there any announcements regarding a finance director as well?
So we have an offer there,
Oh, yeah,
and
there's
he
no
has
news.
not signed it.
Okay, I'm
So
sorry.
we'll report out as soon as he does.
So SBD Fest, I feel redundant in saying that this was our best show ever, but I will say that it was our best show ever. We had an amazing turnout with our team. Is this Jennifer? Me? Next slide.
There you go.
Our attendance summary, Saturday, we had just over 8,555 people. Sunday, November 3rd, we had just over 7,000 people. Both days were incident-free, minus a small brush fire due to the fireworks show we had on Saturday, but that was more exciting than an issue. And a great success all around for everyone. As we brought back a number of familiar air show partners, including the Red Bull Air Force, the Tumbling Bear, John Culver, the Patriots Jet Team, and we also brought in some new acts with the MiG-17 and the TA-4 Skyhawk, which replaced our Lost Harrier, and they were crowd favorites, as well as the Yak-10 that was sponsored by the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. Our car show series, the concert series, and the static displays were an amazing success, and we've had really positive feedback from the community on the entire event. This year also brought the 4th annual SB Strong competition, also sponsored by the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, and the Sheriff's Department again prevailed and are current champions of the competition. A lot of fun. If you haven't made it over to watch that event during the air show, it's strongly encouraged. It's a lot of fun. In addition, our partnership with the San Bernardino City Unified School District was a great success. Socktober was a program where if you donated 2 pairs of new socks at the gate, you received a free general admission ticket. And the San Bernardino Teen Music Workshop is a group of amazingly talented kids who came out and played for the first 2 hours when our gates opened. And I think their talent far exceeded what our expectations were. They were very energetic and a great group to work with. So through Socktober, we actually collected 7,000 pairs of socks that will be distributed throughout the schools in the region. And we donated a custom-made Fender guitar that was tuned and played by our own Mark Gibbs. If you missed his solo performance on Sunday, the feed is live on our Facebook page, so I strongly encourage you going and checking that out.
No.
We have a talented group here at SBD. Not to sound cliche again, but this isn't possible without our sponsors. Stater Brothers has been a tried and true partner of ours since the beginning, and it wouldn't be possible without them. The San Manuel Band of Mission Indians and Unical bring amazing assets to the team, including the concert stage, the Yak 110, the SB Strong. In addition to the Red Bull motorcycle team was fantastic. The Ride the Runway was a great event. And the fireworks show, if you missed it on Saturday night, was spectacular with the sunset. So we look forward to bringing all those back next year. A thank you to our partner agencies. Every one of our partner agencies came to the table with support this year. The County of San Bernardino provided a lot of support with our Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department, the Health Department, permitting. The City of San Bernardino provided police services and park services, including staff and equipment, which is very helpful. The cities of Loma Linda and Colton provided staff support to work side by side with our SBIAA team in setup and teardown and overall operations. And the city of Highland helped with a lot of our logistical ingress, egress traffic plans. So everyone on the dais provided some sort of service to the event, and we greatly appreciate your support on the planning side. And our staff. Most events this large have a dedicated individual who plans and coordinates and promotes and produces these events. And our staff, on top of their regular duties, come together to get it done. And it would not be possible without everyone taking on a little bit more and putting on a few extra hours. In addition, we have an amazing planning committee this year. We have volunteers coming through the woodworks this year that are trying to sign up for 2020, which is a great accomplishment for us instead of begging people to come onto our planning committee. And we also, every year, identify one person who goes above and beyond to receive the Chief Pilot Award for their dedication to the event, and this year it went to our own Amber Casares, who's our airport marketing coordinator. So I was hoping Amber would be here today, and she's home, I'm sure, getting ready for the festivities. But Amber did an incredible job from start to finish, and we really appreciate her efforts. We continue to wrap up 2019, and we are already looking forward to 2020. And we ask you to save the date for November 7th and 8th. And if you have not yet, please like us on Facebook and all of our social media accounts. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, very good. We certainly appreciate it. Mayor Navarro.
Just a comment. Thank you, Mayor. Kat, if you get calendar yourself to send in the request to Colton for staff support for next year's show.
Of course.
You know, about 90 days out gives a little bit more of a window to respond to your request.
Of course.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
I had a logistical question. I know that during the air show, they had to stop a little bit because we had a fire activity, the fire service, there was a fire. Obviously, we're all hoping to get more activity here with cargo. If things proceed as they should with the East Gate, will that impact being able to do the air show?
We have discussed that with the air boss and the possibility of raising and lowering his control over the airspace.
Okay.
And working with the air tower, we can accommodate any
Okay.
service that comes in and out of the airport, similar to what we did with the U.S. Forest Service. We did lose a piece of our show, but watching the tankers fly in and out was equally inspiring, so we can work it out.
And I know that I'm sure a lot of the reasons we had increased participation because we really lowered the prices of the tickets, and I think it helped a lot. The question I had was, in the bigger scheme of things, I know you haven't quite reconciled all of the accounts, but the amount of money the airport put out in staff and whatever we did, how does it kind of pan out? How much are we spending to put this together every year?
I can safely say this year we're closing the gap.
Okay.
As you said, we're still reconciling the money. We have some revenues from sponsors coming in. We have some open purchase requisitions we haven't closed out, but we're happy to provide a detailed report when we do get those numbers.
I mean, those numbers are impressive. I'm looking forward to having 7,000 to 8,000 people come through our airport every day as they fly in and out, so. But the air show is a start. Thank you.
So if you'd indulge us with one last one, this is a new customer, so I definitely want Mark to fill you in on who our newest addition to the airport is, because
This is item E.
this
on
is
cargo facility.
E, yes.
Very good.
Item E, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we're pleased to announce our latest user at the airport, and it goes by the name of Air Horse One. It's a 727. And it flies thoroughbreds around the country, kind of as the name implies. But right now they're conducting weekly flights through SBD and primarily flying to Louisville, but flying to other locations throughout the country as well. Next slide, please. And here's a snapshot of the crew, a specialized crew. Not a lot of Air Horse Ones around the country. This is one of the few, kind of a specialized staff. You can see the thoroughbred getting on. It looks like he's getting off the aircraft there on a specialized walkway up to the aircraft itself. So it goes straight between the trailers right onto the aircraft. Presidential stairs. And you can see everyone's buckled up here, ready, seatbelts are fastened, ready for their flight. And you got happy passengers,
right.
And of course you have happy pilots, because everyone loves flying through SBD. Thank you.
I just needed to add a little bit to that story. Mark and I have been talking about this company for quite some time. In fact, I remember talking about it. I couldn't remember when, and I actually searched my database.
Me too.
And I sent you an email in August of 2016.
No, it was March of 2016.
16th. And I remember you said you had talked to them, and they were like interested, and it just tells you how long it takes to get things going. But just real quick story behind that, because I attended an UAE event. They had horses that come through on a regular basis racing at the Santa Anita track. At this event, I was able to meet the Santa Anita manager. I don't know if he's still there anymore, given the issues they've had. But I was talking about horses. The UAE is a country that moves horses around a lot, believe it or not. And I wanted to learn his input. And he said, talk to this company, Texas Sutton. They're flying in Ontario. So I had done some research. I think, Mark, you were kind of already knew about them. So then we started collaborating. So I never envisioned that it was that process that helped start that, and here they are, and hopefully they'll be here to stay. And I think we talked to the consulate about the possibility of having some of a lot of folks don't know that 2,000 horses clear customs in LA every year. There's a lot of horses coming in and out of Southern California. So if we can take care of these domestic ones, hopefully we'll be able to take some of the international ones as well. Thank you.
So enough horseplay, and that concludes our report.
Very good, and thank you very much. Commission consent items, is there a motion to,
I'll abstain from item 5.
all right. There's a second. If there's no,
Oh.
all right. If there's no objections, the items are so ordered moved. Commission action items, item number 6, this is award a construction contract to Inland Overhead Door Company. Mr. Harris.
Thank you. At the airport here, we have a fire station. It's known by many names, the ARF facility, Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting. It's our building 820, and it's also County Fire Building 233, Fire Station 233. It's a 30-year-old building that houses the firefighting apparatus for the airfield. And over the last 30 years, the main roll-up doors have been used almost daily. If you work that out, if they open and close a couple times a day, it's like 120,000 evolutions. So it's time to replace those doors, mechanisms, and some of the motors. So this particular job will be replacing doors, realigning tracks, adding a couple of new operators, and basically bring this equipment back up to fresh.
Very good. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Questions, comments? There's no objections. So ordered. Item number 7, status of business plan update. Mr. Burrows?
Yes, in your packets, you have essentially where we've been with the business plan update, and we appreciate your continued feedback and direction on this. It's a very short update here. Where we are staff-wise is in the process of trying to align financial capital with goals and objectives. So that is still underway. Alka and her team and I have more to go through, but we are hopeful that we can get a working draft, at least of the first series of the plan update before you in the December meeting. So that really is the update. We're cranking. We're trying to get this ready for you, and hope to be back next month with more. So happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Any questions from commission members? All right, item number 8, consider and discuss updated action plan.
Okay, so on this one, I'm going to go to the second side. So you've got your update on the business plan. On the financial analysis, we did get some good news from our independent auditors in that they are on track to actually complete the audit by December. So we will actually have that on your December agenda, and got good favorable reaction from our audit team on that. So Brad Welleber and the Rams team will be in front of you at your next meeting. And with that, that concludes my report.
Okay, very good. There are no added or deferred items. Are there any public comments? No public comments. All right. Are there any comments from our commissioners?
Just want to appreciate the fact that you're sick as a dog, but still here. So that's dedication.
I'm trying. I'm have some Tylenol on me, and we're some flu medication, but we're okay. Any other commission members?
I just wanted to comment to the staff on the air show. You guys did a great job. Thank you for doing all the great work, and a lot of us take all the credit, and you guys do all the work, and it was a great event, so thank you.
And it's an important community outreach, and we appreciate the presence of our airport staff making this happen and possible. The community appreciates it. We get the comments, and we certainly do appreciate what you've done for the community, so we thank you, Catherine. All right, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This meeting is adjourned. Drive home safely.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, staff.